In what is ironically being called the world-leading plan, California, which leads in nothing except for the most ridiculous policies, the California Clean Air regulators vote to ban the sales of all new gas cars by 2035. This is going to make the largest market of auto buyers in the country unavailable to manufacturers. California buys and consumes over 10% of America's cars. Insane. Joining us now, former senior Senate Environmental and Public Works Committee, founder of ClimateDepot.com and author of Politically Incorrect, Guide to Climate Change and Green Fraud, Marc Morano. Sir, appreciate you being here today. This is one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard. Does it make any modicum of sense, any lens you look at it through?
No, well, it does for one thing. This is the planned rationing of vehicles, the planned rationing of American cars. That's the only way this plan makes sense, because Gavin Newsom himself knows this is not a realistic expectation to ban the sale of gas-powered and diesel cars. It's not going to, it can't happen. And if it does happen, the only result is going to be shortages of cars, a completely altered used car market where everyone's scrambling for gas-powered used cars. We're going to find a situation. What Gavin Newsom's doing, this is not by democracy in California. This is by executive order, and then an unelected bureaucratic board called the CARB Board in California has issued these edicts from high, from the morass of the bureaucracy. So if you're looking at this, you can look to Cuba to find out what it's like to have a raging used car market, because that's what we're looking at, where they have the old 1950s cars. We're now going to have the old gas-powered cars driving around California. And you can look to East Germany. East Germany had their famed Trabant, where people would get on waiting lists for years to get it. And that's what we're faced with here when the government is going to mandate you can only buy a new electric car. This makes no sense. The amount of mining and ramping up, even in California, it's less than 15% currently of electric car sales. This is they have energy shortages, food shortages. Now they want vehicle shortages.
Yeah, and when you're turning over $1 trillion worth of lithium in Afghanistan over to the Chinese, I mean, you would think they had a plan to do this, but this was also not passed through the legislature. So I have my concerns about whether or not it'll actually stand up if it's challenged. It was done by California Air Resources Board. I don't even, these are a bunch of unelected bureaucrats. I've never even heard of these people before this. Do you think this overturns in court?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of court challenges. I don't know. It's California. I mean, California, this is what the people want. I mean, you could say it is not by democracy. However, they keep electing Gavin Newsom. So, and here's the thing. We can say, oh, these are a bunch of nuts in California. They deserve it. Let it happen. But as you mentioned at the opening, 10% of all cars are bought in California. 12 other states set to follow on this. As California goes, so goes the nation. But it's not just a California issue. Australian Bank is announcing it's not going to give financing for loans for anyone buying a gas-powered car. The World Bank has now announced it wants to set a timetable to stop the funding for even at automaker level for gas-powered cars. The powers that be, the corporate world, the bankers, the governments, the academia, they've decided that the American or that gas-powered cars are over. And they're putting all the forces into play to end it without our say in it.
I got an idea. You want to make electric cars more palatable? Stop making them look like electric cars. Make them look like a normal car. Folks, I recently downgraded from a diesel F-250 to a Ford Raptor, so I can say that I'm more eco-friendly now, I guess. I got to ask you about the grid, though, over there. You have a problem. They can't even keep people's air conditioning on, okay? That takes 15 amps of electricity, okay? Charging an electric car requires an 80-amp circuit, which is like over 1/3 of your entire house's average service. How are they going to do that?
Magic. Oh, that's the thing. This is it's in the future. It's 2035. We'll figure it out. We're going to have technological breakthroughs. It's just it's a lick and a promise. They think it's just all going to come together. But you're absolutely right. An electric car requires fossil fuels to make. It requires electric cars dig the earth, not in a 1970s Brady Bunch way, but in excavating the earth for the rare earth mining, for cobalt, for lithium. And all of this comes together, and then you got to recharge with fossil fuels, and then you have recycling problems. But the real problem here is they're not giving people choice. They're telling you, you must buy this, and we're killing the gas-powered cars regulatorily, without a vote, without democracy. And this is the world. It's my new book, The Great Reset. That's what's coming out on Tuesday, and it's all details how this is coming from the World Economic Forum, from the EU, from the international banking, from corporate America. They're making decisions and they're imposing it upon us.
Yeah, this is people are upset they can't afford $4 gas. Oh, just go buy a $70,000. These people are just not real. They're not real people.